but not as hot as the NL wildcard race where the Reds, Phillies, D-backs, Marlins, and Giants are all separated by just 2 games. So, Cliff Floyd, give me your postseason lock out of these 5.
I'm going with the Phillies. I like what they did this weekend against the Padres. I think when you talk about not having Rhys Hoskins over at first, then you have Bryce Harper just getting back on the field. That hadn't hit a homer until this weekend since like May something. Trey Turner hasn't been himself. Schwarber's hitting under 200, but he has 23 bombs, 24 bombs. He had a walk-off last night. If those two get hot, it could be dangerous down the stretch. I mean, we have 67, 68 games left. Yeah, I think they have that type of team that can do it if those two get smoking hot.
I couldn't believe watching the Giants at their minus 250 to make the playoffs, which behind the Phillies is the next best odds out of these 5 teams. Pitching equals playoffs. I'm not going to say it equals championships because you still need to score runs. Tampa last year. They still are top 10 in pitching team ERA, top 10 in bullpen ERA. Yeah. The Giants have a shot to get their pitching to get them to the playoffs, which is the question. Locked to make the playoffs. Not saying that they win there, though.
Yeah, I got to go with what my guy Cliff said. The Phillies are a team, to me, 7 of their last 10. I look at specifically Dave Dombrowski, what he did last trade deadline, going and getting Thor, going and getting Brandon Marsh, going and getting David Robertson. He's going to go add pieces to this team, which was just at the World Series. If there's a team that I think with Schwarber, Harper, all those guys, right, the big-name guys, they figure out how to get it done. This is the best team of all those right now.
God, this is so annoying having to agree with you two, but I completely agree. Fangraphs actually put out their odds to make the playoffs today. Giants, 73% chance, to your point, Ariel. The Phillies in second out of those 5 teams, 68%. Marlins, 62. D-backs, 53. Reds, shockingly, only 20% chance, according to Fangraphs, to make the postseason for all those the above reasons. And I've had some good conversations with Dave Dombrowski saying we're probably going to be aggressive. We just have to get into the wild card, and then the rest could be.
The only issue I have with the Giants,
maybe they pick up Lucas Giolito.
I like the Giants a lot. The only issue I have with the Giants is, like, defensively, if there's something that wins championships is defense, too. Yeah. Pitching and defense. Yeah. Defense hasn't been there the way we've seen the Giants' defense been there in the past.
Yeah, that could be a tough hill to climb for the San Francisco Giants. I'm Lauren Gardner, and Off Base starts right now. Monday, my friends, and welcome to this edition of Off Base presented by Volvo. It's your girl, LG Red. Lauren Gardner here in the hot seat, back for another edition of Off Base. Yeah. I'm actually in studio with you, Cliff Floyd.
Right. I mean, typically you're on the road, like just curving the whole show. I mean, you're on the road and have a good time out there, eat good food. It's great. We'll be sitting here eating food in Secaucus, New Jersey. Like
I have my little shake behind the chair here that I drink during our commercial.
No, we're talking about these extravagant trips you be on.
No.
You know, you're trying to you're taking Tums. Yeah, you're taking Tums after you eat all this stuff.
Obviously, Tums, Alka-Seltzer, we have to settle the stomach. But I'm also working like triple duty with you. I'm at MLB Tonight after those games. They're working Showcase. Okay, so they're getting plenty of juice.
What I have after this show?
You have MLB Tonight.
She act like she the only one working like that.
On the road, Ariel Epstein, how was your weekend?
Weekend was good, relaxing, didn't place any bets, so I didn't have to sweat it out until yesterday, where I always say football season is when Sundays are supposed to be ruined. Until yesterday, when you're a Yankees fan, now your Sundays started early. Sad.
X, you stayed in the Northeast.
Hey, speaking of Sundays about to be ruined, I got to tell you real quick, Sunday I went to Tone House early in the morning. It's a workout place here.
I saw you on your Insta.
Yes, I should have known something was wrong when I heard the superhero music.
You were an elite athlete. Get it together, man.
That's the problem. I was an athlete, but these people were training for something totally different. Hey. Like I like the experience, but it was not for me.
X still hasn't gotten us into Peloton though.
You know, he walked in and it was, you know what? You know when I would have walked out? It was real dark. If I can't see your face in the spot I'm working out in, I'm out. Like, it's over.
You sound
It's a
triggered
wrap.
by not being able to see faces in the dark.
He was like, why is it so dark? And I'm like, bro, get out. Like,
That's a deal breaker. We're trying to set the tone and like make it a vibe, and you're like, no, I feel like I'm in danger. I am leaving.
I don't know what these people were training for, but it was something that I should not even be training for.
How many push-ups can you do now?
I mean, my arms are hurt. I have no glutes right now. I can't even take a seat. Like, this hurts sitting down right now.
I don't know if I want to call you softer. I'm just saying, like, maybe they're just like,
then you go. No, because it wasn't the beginner or it was the advanced class. That was the problem. I didn't know.
That's so intense.
Yeah.
I probably would have cried within like 3 minutes of the class. All right, let's check out what's been trending in the show and moving the needle, starting in the Queen City, where the Brew Crew took 5 of 6 from the Reds over their last 6 games. They're now 8-2 in the season series and now hold a 2-game lead in the NL Central. So here's what closer Devin Williams had to say following the win.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, they were ahead of us, so, you know, they had a target on their back. And we came in here with that mindset that we wanted to take all these, and we did, you know. So now the shoe will be on the other foot. Now they're going to be chasing us, so it'll be a good race down the stretch.
Well, I think you heard it there, Ariel Epstein. It's going to be a great race down the stretch. A lot of confidence and poise there from the closer for the Brew Crew. In your opinion, how we been sleeping on Milwaukee?
We're sleeping on Milwaukee. They are still minus 250 to win this division.
Wow.
Heavy favorites. One of the reasons is that man right there, Devin Williams. The bullpen's been good. The pitching's been good. Now you're going to get the best 1-2 punch in this division possibly back if Brandon Woodruff returns to the starting rotation next month. Milwaukee's going to have Burns and Woodruff there. The issue is only that their hitting is struggling. You've got Contreras and Yelich, who are the only 2 above-average hitters, according to OPS+. If the Brewers can add to their lineup and create more offense, this team's going to be dangerous.
Yeah, I think they're going to find a way to add. Yeah, yes, we've been sleeping. I think mostly because this Cincinnati Reds team has been so exciting as of late.
Yeah.
But that's been the issue is the Brewers were able to quiet them down, right? They were waiting for that opportunity. We heard from Devin Williams, possibly the best closer right now in the game. Every time he gets an opportunity, he locks it up. So that's what special is. They have the back end ready and they're rolling. To me, it's the starting pitching, right? If you're able to continue to have the starting pitching we've seen in the past for the Brewers, then you have an opportunity to definitely win this division. If we can see Yelich continue to take that step forward, right? He's getting back to where what we've seen MVP caliber before, 850 OPS. Same thing with Contreras is doing his thing. But if we can see Yelich take another step forward, you're talking about disrupting the whole Central and taking it to a whole
Reds
nother
don't
level.
have the pitching.
And the one thing with the Reds is they actually had decent pitching this past weekend, and it's shown to be a little bit better. But for me is they don't have the experience, right? This is still a young team that hasn't gone a whole 162 and shown how good they can be throughout the course of the season. The Brewers have done it before, and I think that experience comes into play this second half.
Yeah, Cliff, they experienced those flashes, but we were talking about 5 of 6 in 3 of those 5 wins. They shut out the Reds, so it's not just the pitching, it's their offense.
You know, big time guys show up, but we always go against the health factor. So when you talk about health, you now understand that things can derail you from being great. Mm-hmm. So when you look at Yelich, what we've been dealing with, the back. Everything is the back, right? I saw him in April. He said, I'm good. And it wasn't about playing. It wasn't about putting the bat to the baseball. He said, I feel good. I don't come to I don't go to the field and go in the training room. I don't come to the yard and do all this extra stuff. I'm just ready to play. And now, to y'all point, that's what you have back. So everybody else can breathe a little bit, and they feeling better. So the offense might not be great. It might not be the best. But you got Yelich hitting big bombs in certain situations. You got guys doing little things. You know, they just feel good about themselves, and they actually come out of the break. You beat the Reds like you do. And the Reds, look, they're not going anywhere, but they're going to take a hit in the mouth every once in a while because they're young. They're inexperienced to X's point. They don't know how to handle, you know, a little bit of the adversity that's going to come with not scoring a run in 3 games.
Let me tell you, those Brewers better continue to be buyers at this deadline. After last year, where I thought the Brewers were going to be one of the contenders in the National League, you trade away your closer, Josh Hader. At that point, the team was deflated. You just traded away one of the best pieces of your bullpen. You gave up.
Right.
The Brewers better not give up this time around. That's the only thing that scares me.
But you got to look at what you can bring in. Like when we get to the trade deadlines all the time, it's like sometimes you get caught up in like just going to grab folks. Like,
Sure.
yo, I'm just gonna add
Getting
them
them
in.
just to get them.
You got to make sure it works.
Yeah.
I mean, well, you're hoping it works, but you got to make sure you actually.
And you don't leverage your
Done.
future in order to
100%
fill a
believe
hole
that.
for a short
Yeah.
period of time, and there's no guarantee you're going to make it down the stretch.
I
Because
believe
even
that.
winning your own division, we saw what happened with St. Louis last year. They were upset by the wild card.
Right.
Philadelphia Phillies. For the Reds, though, I talked about maybe the lack of offense. Well, they have so much youth on this team. Another call-up yet again for Cincinnati. They
Let's
selected
go.
the contract of infielder Christian Encarnacion Strand, which would have been the longest name on the back of a jersey in the history of Major League Baseball. Unfortunately, they're only going with Encarnacion, which I feel like is a missed opportunity.
Well, you
but-
can wait. Where else you gonna put it?
Was it-
You
was
gonna
it
scrap it?
27
exactly.
characters?
On his
It's
pants.
going to be a circle, and it's going to be a happy face.
There it
I
is.
love that. I think it would be perfect. Speaking of young players, one of the most recent call-ups, Ellie De La Cruz, had himself a
dumb.
weekend.
This was just
Look
dumb.
at that.
98 miles an hour across
Insane.
cliff.
Oh no, bro. Hey, look, I can't wait. I can't wait till O'Neal Cruz gets back. Like, now that's gonna be a battle in Central.
It's-
right?
Oh, I
Got
love to
two
see it.
big,
Look at
tall
that.
dudes over
It's
there
going to be a
throwing.
battle of StatCast.
Right,
That's what it's like to be.
Yo, you threw 98 last night, homie? Here come my hundo coming across. They gonna blow their arms
They
out.
one up at each
Yeah,
other.
man.
I love that.
Should we go through his other moments this year? Remember, he was just called up in June. His first hit, 112 miles an hour. That was a double. That was his first hit in the bigs. No big deal.
Just smoking balls.
How about this later in the month? He hit for the cycle against the Braves. The first player to do that since
You tell me, who was the first player to do
Eric
this?
Davis.
Oh, okay.
I mean, number 44. What number did he?
He's still second, third, home. He did wear the same number.
He did, didn't
Yeah, that was a good catch. And then, of course, the fastest infield assist in the StatCast era.
When he stole second, third, and home in 2 pitches, that was when I was like, this man doesn't care. He's just going to do whatever it takes to
There he
make
goes.
sure he puts himself in the position to be the best. And I think that makes so much sense because a lot of times as rookies, and you know this, Cliff, you come up and you're a little apprehensive, right? You don't want to be doing the wrong things. You want to be aggressive, but at the same time, you don't want to step on anybody's toes. He could care less about that. He's just going out there and doing his thing, and I think that's what's been fun watching him.
I love the confidence. The stealing second, third, and home in 2 pitches was insanity. And it's the first time since 1919 that a Reds player did that in the same inning, which just shows you how historic of a player Ellie De La Cruz really has the potential to be.
It was literally just 2 pitches. And it was kind of overshadowed by All-Star Week, right? Like a lot of us were already in Seattle. We were kind of paying attention to the festivities out there. And then Ellie De La Cruz is still doing Ellie De La Cruz things.
Yeah, I just like the fact that the Reds are calling up these dudes. Like, you know what? Let's stop waiting.
All in.
You know, when your window opens, like you don't know when it's closing. Like that's to
right.
me is where you have to take advantage of the youth and allow these guys to take advantage of these new rules, right? With the the whole pitch clock and cats can't throw over to first base. Run. We have guys with speed. Guess what? We can win games with speed. We can manufacture with the best of them. Let's play the game the way it's supposed to be played and start doing this. Yeah, he's exciting, but the whole team is, right? This is the reason why you're bringing these guys up. Yeah, they got some pop, but you can do some of these things and win you ball games, and this will win, in my opinion, in the postseason as well, right? You talk about pitching, you talk about certain. To me, you have to do some things we never see. The reason some of these teams lose is because, like the Yankees and some of these, they're one-dimensional. If the big boppers are out, guess what? You ain't winning.
Yep.
It's just bottom line how it works. You know, if you can't manufacture, you ain't winning. Your supporting cast players are not doing little things to get to second and third on a ground ball that scores them. You're not winning consistently. So, if Stanton Judge is out and Stanton's not, struggling, well, I would say struggling now because he's raking again. You have to figure out a way to score runs by using your legs, by using, by just, you're not going to get hits all the time. So
Exactly.
I love what the Reds are doing, man. It's fun.
Our game has become so athletic that you can't afford to take a step back and be one-dimensional, right? Because teams are going to take advantage of you, and they're going to put pressure on the defense by doing those little things. And if you're not a team that's doing it, we've seen, and the teams that make the mistakes, right? You mentioned a Cardinals team that had been so good at doing the little things have taken a step back because we haven't seen them be the aggressor. That's what this Reds team is doing. That's what these other teams that are doing that. I look at the Diamondbacks, another team